Hi everybody, and welcome here to the Nant Franken. And it's so good to be with you all on this beautiful day. And you can see that the day is a little bit cloudy, but above it is only sky. And it is sky that I thought it might be helpful to explore with you a little bit about today. The element of Akash, space, sky. And there's so many things that we can talk about with this, but the most important few are, it is the realm in which you can experience the flavor of the, shall we say, the subtle energy, the sea of consciousness around you. It's the realm in which you can touch the ever-present connectedness to the quantum field, to the inner light, the presence of all that is beautiful in life, the divine. And having accomplished that, it's the part of our consciousness that allows our awareness to gain ideas from intuition and to know the right thing to do in the right way with the right people and at the right time. So in order to access this amazing part of our consciousness, because remember, the 5 elements are archetypes or experiences or even shapes of our consciousness. And gaining strength in any one of them is a masterful thing. Gaining strength in all of them enables you to be successful in all aspects of life. So here comes a few videos on how to be successful in each of them. So the topic of sky, space, Akash. And maybe you would like to start by just being aware of the space around you. Now for me, that's alluring and compelling because look at where I am. This is the beautiful valley where our center is. Yet at the same time, where you are, if you look at it with the right eyes, is beautiful, alluring, compelling. Is there a plant nearby? Just look at it. What a miracle of life force. Is there space between you, the walls, you, the floor, you, the buildings, you, the sky? What's in that space? Could it be a place where you can discover that you never need to be alone? I once explored this in great depth. It was one of the turning points of my life when I was walking along a street in Canberra in Australia. And I grew up in Tasmania, Australia. And yet nevertheless, having returned to Canberra to do our work with Drew, I was walking along thinking, I just don't feel quite at home in this environment. It's kind of like not natural to my energy system. I'm more used to the sheep and the birds and the greenery and the sky. And so I thought, wait a minute, if I carry a feeling that I'm not at home in this environment, how am I going to live a comfortable and passionate life? So I thought I'd better change my attitude here. So I thought, well, what does it feel like in the surroundings around me? And I thought, oh, there's the kind of classic Australian sense of a warm, bubbling, slightly fiery, sunburnt land. And it's not entirely comfortable to my energy system. For others, it's really comfortable. But it's a beautiful sensation. So I thought, why don't I try and find the beauty in that? So you can do that wherever you are. Inside the experience being reported to your senses is the opportunity to see the presence of beauty, of wonder. I lived in New York for a year, New York City, and I trained myself to do that there. You can do it wherever you are. So gaze around, allow your gaze to soften and just notice where it's drawn to. If you ask for it to be drawn to something that is awakening, enlivening, you'll probably find it focusing on something that's of beauty, of the presence of the infinite. And that's a very beautiful thing. If you can do that all day long, imagine what doorways could open to you. That's the purpose of the Akash element, to open doorways to your greatness and to the greatness of the people around you. So there was I in Canberra, And I suddenly noticed that I might even decide to try and see the spark of splendor inside every molecule. Now that might sound completely weird. But what if you try it? What if you imagine that even inside the air molecules around you is space? But what if you imagine that space is filled with the light of 0-point energy, of the quantum field, of the presence of the infinite, maybe even the presence of the divine? Suddenly, every molecule between you and the wall, the building, the sky, the trees around you can be supercharged with something very special. So that, of course, is something that having decided that, I had to imagine it. There was no way I could see anything like that. And so I did. I just chose to imagine it. And I kept reminding myself of this week after week, month after month, just a little bit through the day. And you know what? Gradually, I began to see the possibility that what I was imagining could possibly be real. And if ever I find myself gazing out across an audience or across a room at somebody I'm mentoring or at my friends, sometimes I choose to imagine that the space between us is alive, beautiful, and filled with compassion. And do you know what? After practicing that for a while, it can actually happen. The person across is wondering why Andrew stopped talking, and the reason is I'm suddenly lost for words at the beauty of what is around us. So you might be thinking, what is he on? What on earth is he? What has he had for breakfast, and what was in the drink he had for breakfast? The answer is just maybe I'm on the path of reality. But you can do that too. And to finalize this very brief discussion of all of this, what about the ability we all have within us to know the right thing to do at the right time and in the right way? Intuition. Each of us experiences that in a different way, and it seems to come from within us from a different way. But its actual origin is from the part of consciousness that we call Akash, and what is behind and beyond that. The space in which we are enfolded, and the living presence of the sea of consciousness within that. So I would like to invite you to just pause just for a minute and ask yourself, what is the next thing that I should do that will bring the most harmony and joy and love to myself and my body, and to the people and the world around me? That's very important. And what one thing could I do next that will bring the most joy and love and harmony to the people around me and myself and my body? And you know, you'll probably get an answer. Just something very simple. Could be write a letter, pick up the phone, could be just stop and breathe. I encourage you to do it, because when you link moments like that, moment by moment by moment, hour after hour, day after day, you can find yourself following the golden path of flow. The business world uses the idea of flow, of the elite athletes talk about flow, getting in the zone. You can live in the golden path of flow. So I want to leave you with that and encourage you to absorb and enjoy the messages coming to you from the space around you all the time. And have a great day.